you. So there seems to be Lorna and Karen. Lorna has said the offer is great service, but initially quite confusing to fully understand what they do. There's a comment there from Lorna. And Karen said when she clicks on the information tab, she's getting the 404.
Yes, that's something that has just come in today, and I have pointed it out. It went live today, and they said, "Oh, it's all there for you. We're just adding what's called an extra card onto the site," and I have pointed out that it doesn't link through. So that has been corrected. But at the very top of the screen, it has information advice. Or if you scroll down a bit further, the information advice is just there. But yes, I've been exchanging emails with them this morning about that very issue. So, but thank you for letting me know that isn't resolved yet. I will keep on at them.
Sarah also said, Matthew, another aspect I think would be great would be an opportunity to share. So when you're on Connect to Support and you have found a resource, that there could be a share option so people can share on their own Twitter or social media pages from Sarah.
Okay, share. So Twitter, social media, and I see, also perhaps email it to someone. I mean, that's okay. Yep.
Hope that's okay, that comment there. It's that we work with, we've got a really great, massive community on our Cerebral Palsy Midlands Facebook page. And if we found a resource on your Connect for Support, something that was happening in their local community, to be able to share it, like you can if you were on a BBC News page.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, no, and I very much like that publicity going out. I mean, that's great, and help connect people with all those resources. 1,700 at the moment that are being contained. So no, I'll certainly pick that up, and if there is a functionality to achieve that already, which I can't say I'm aware of, I will push that back. So that was
okay. Thank you, Sarah. Bridget, you've got your hand up. Would you like to come off mute and come in with a question or comment?
I think I'm off mute.
You are? We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey there.
Hi.
I've got a question. I think it is really valid. It's to do with coming up to the season where people do tend to slip and fall. They may be able to have a care line in a pendant.
Yep.
Well, it's a personal experience. I bought my own Careline pendant, but quoted via Birmingham £20 to get somebody out to install it for me. I ended up trying to pull back on my own experience of using IT. I connected it for myself within 20 minutes. £120 quoted via Birmingham City Council for someone to come out and just come out and connect. They said it's a whole day's work, 120 quid. People cannot afford that.
Okay, thank you, Bridget.
Did you get the drift of that?
Yes, that it's there's.
Well, falling down. I've got it because I've got multiple fractures, and I'm probably not as high risk than I used to be. So I really do think it's a very important issue. The information that's going out via Birmingham City Council is very expensive.
Okay, no, thank you for that. Certainly, you've got that. I don't know, Julie, did you just want to come in on that at all?
Yeah, please, Matthew. I'm sorry to hear that, Bridget. That doesn't sound right at all. It could be, if we could have a conversation off this meeting, that would be really, really helpful.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Okay, because telecare, we can, if you...
Amanda's got my contacts. You can phone me back or whatever.
Okay. I'll set something up and we can have a conversation about that. But just
it is. I only want it to be by way of improving services.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Totally get that. But just so everybody knows that if you refer into an OT or a social worker, they can both do a referral for telecare through adult social care.
I had to do it myself.
Okay, so if you'd have gone to OT, they could have done a referral for you.
They didn't. They didn't. It wasn't urgent. My needs were really urgent.
Okay.
The delay factor via Birmingham City Council, and I am absolutely devoted. Amanda will vouch for me. I've been involved with the Lilac team, citizens involvement team for I think it must be coming up for about 3 years now on a voluntary basis.
Okay.
So it means an awful lot to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And everybody we speak to around telecare, it means a lot to them. So let's have a discussion and see if we can do something about that for you.
What? Hey, Amanda, I've just seen your photo. Hi there. I'm giving you a wave.
Is that okay, Bridge? Thank you for that. That's important.
Yes, yeah, it is. It's pertinent today.
Brilliant. Thank you thanks for that, Bridget. That's really important. Can we go to Sharda, who's got a hand up? Sharda, you're on mute.
Yes. Hi, thank you, Amanda. I was just wondering, right, going their own home, right? I know we will be giving them connect support, but what about their home and property? As they get older, their homes needs to be repaired and everything. So will that be taken care of as well? Because a few months back, this is what I heard, that if people want to stay in the house will be done with whatever is required. So they are staying in a good condition house. So will this be the case, please? Thank you.
I'm not quite sure, Sharda, what you're saying, darling.
It's okay. So if I can just repeat what I heard, because I mean it was it's coming through a little faint to me. So you're just want to know, you've heard that a house will be repaired if it needs to be for someone to stay in there and keeping their own home longer term. If this is referring to the reforms that the government have suggested, have proposed forward, we're not quite sure on the details around those yet. We wait for the details. We've just heard the headlines, so we wait with bated breath to understand what the detail will be around that, the care cap and everything else, and how that will work out. And as that becomes clearer, I'm sure there'll be Amanda and Adib will put a session on around that. At the moment, there is a work scheme within adults looking around, trying to bring adults and our colleagues in housing closer together. That's starting off at the moment, so I don't think that's that as far forward as we'd perhaps like to, but it is a bit of work that we are moving forwards with, and we'll be bringing it forwards. But I don't think we have something in place that it does exactly what you said at the moment. I hope that's all right.
Does that answer your question, or would you like to follow up? Does that answer your question, Sharda, for the moment? Okay. Can't hear you, Sharda, if you are saying anything else. Doesn't appear to be any other questions, but Adib got his hand up.
I was just going to say, I mean, in terms of relating it to Connector support, so if someone was to go on to Connector support and they had a particular issue, like what Bridget said, you know, I wanted telecare, she should be able to, if she had access to a computer or a device, she'd go on there and look for something on, you know, telecare or care line or something like that, and they should find that information, and that information should help them get the equipment that they need to help them stay at home. So there is some sort of linkage between information and advice and guidance and keeping people at home. That's the idea. It's the first stage of trying to keep people at home, and I think Matthew mentioned that in the early part of his presentation, so just thought I'd add that. Thanks.
So we've got Gina and Mick, or Gina or Mick. Would you like to come in with a question?
Hi, I just wanted to ask about this connector support. Is there a phone number? Because I had such a rigmarole trying to get an old hoist taken out that's not needed, and you would not believe the hassle and the runaround I've had just getting that, trying to get that taken out.
And John Flynn.
Yeah, and council workers. I mean, that should be like incorporated in some of this as well, because it's all right putting adaptions in, but I mean, where things aren't needed like anymore, that they even suggested to a council worker that I take the hoist out myself. I mean, you know, this is council people. I mean, there should be some way to get hold of someone, get things taken out as well as put in.
Certainly. Okay, I've noted that down. I'll take that back to the service area. I mean, work with colleagues in different services to get that information up, as they are the best source of their information for their service areas, and that's clearly a part that can be improved, whether through around our occupational therapy service, it's been advised through that, or around our DFG scheme and how that can be done, because obviously recycling those where we can is something that we would perhaps be looking to do, because obviously some of them aren't cheap, and if we can reuse them, that would be great. So what I will do is take that back and see what can be done about getting that information on. Thank you. That's a helpful point to pick up.
I was told it was such a grey area that nobody seemed to want to touch it.
I could well believe.
Pardon?
I could well believe, but if I don't ask the question, it's never going to move forwards. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, but thank you for raising it. That's helpful.
I just wanted to add to that point with what Matthew said. I'm not sure if it's on all the bits of equipment, but usually there's a sticker on the bit of equipment because it's loaned out to you. Yes, and if it needs servicing, you could call that number. But then if you don't need the bit of equipment, I'm not saying it works, but you could call that same number. It's usually MediQuip, and let them know that. I know you're shaking it. Yeah, okay. So
it was a MediQuip. It was a hoist. It's dolphin hoists, and they don't take them out.
Right.
So if it
want to charge.
Because obviously, if it's been put, it depends on the scheme and the funding arrangement. So obviously, we have our community equipment loan service, which will obviously look to bring the equipment back as it is a loan. But in other funding schemes, it's a grant. So it depends on the nature and those things. I think there's quite a bit of sort of devil in the detail there, and I could well imagine a grey area, as you say. Thank you. Are there any other questions? I don't want to monopolise the time on Connect Support. If there are other areas we have the other two areas to talk about, but happy to take any other questions if there are.
There's nothing else. No one else with a hand up. Matthew.
Oh.
Bridget, she's just peeped back in. Go ahead, Bridget. Bridget, you're on mute. You need to take yourself off mute, Bridget.
I just said, sugar, I've done it again. I'm still without a boiler, no running hot water. I've gone through all of the processes I could possibly imagine. I'm near to tears now, and I am having really seriously physical issues with getting up and down the stairs, having a decent washing my hair, etc. Essential needs. And I keep banging my head against a brick wall. I haven't got a clue.
Bridget, can I suggest that we have a conversation after this meeting about where you're up to with all this? Would that be all right with you?
Can you say that again?
Can we speak about this after this event, about where you're
Yes, please. Yes, please do, because I'm desperate.
Okay, thank you.
It's been awful cold.
Okay, thank you. Shada, did you want to come and have...
Just, I think, Amanda, I think in terms of responding to that point first, sorry, Amanda, just picking up on that, I think if you were to use Connector Support to look for information about, you've got a problem with your boiler for someone that has care and support needs, would you find that information on there? I think that's probably one thing that we need to check or take.
It's something I can certainly look and pick up on. It's not something adult social care has a major service area around. So it's not something that we have huge amounts of information on. Clearly, we need to. It's an area to work more closely with our housing colleagues and that crossover to make sure that we do have the information for the schemes that are there and around. So thank you. I've noted that down. Thank you.
We've got 2 more hands up. If we've got time, we've got Shada and then Emma. Shada, did you want to come in?
Hi, thank you, Amanda. I was just, wondering that if a people choose to stay home and their house needs a lot of things to be done, will the government help them to get their house repaired and everything? Because number one, elderly person cannot do anything. They can't do any gardening, even though it's their own property. And I seriously think this needs to be looked at. And I was wondering if there is any grant in the pipeline for people to stay in their home, because everyone is confused. Nobody knows what's happening. Thank you.
I'm afraid I'm not best placed to answer that. It's not an area that I work on, and I'm not that familiar on it. So I would risk telling you false. I'm not aware of those schemes personally, but I mean, there are community services that can help with gardening and help you do those things, and certainly other community services that can help around sort of some odd jobs around, and those where we can identify them are added to the community directory on Connect support. But in terms of sort of grants and things and government policy around that, I'm afraid I'm not that familiar with that area. Julie, did you want to just add to that?
Yes, please, Matthew. Colleague Sarah Feely is doing quite a lot of work around home assistance at the moment and connect it into the disability funding grant. It hasn't gone through, it needs to go through various approval levels and things like that, but it might be worth, I don't know if Sarah's had a conversation, I know she was thinking about having a conversation with you around this policy they're trying to bring in. It would cover around gardening, boilers and different things, because it's a real connection between adult social care and housing. It's trying to bring those two together. So it's definitely a major piece of work that she's doing at the moment to bring it in line. Yeah.
So I think we're working on it, but we're not quite there yet, Charlotte.
No.
So.
Okay.
Sorry, was Emma next?
Yes. Emma, do you want to come in? Emma, we're not hearing you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm from the Disability Resource Centre, and I just wanted to add to Bridget's comment, without discussing her personal circumstances. We do have a team within our department that could possibly assist Bridget. So I don't know if Lise would like to pass on my details to Bridget, and she might be able to contact me outside of this meeting.
Okay, brilliant. Lise, yeah, you can do that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Emma. Should we move on to the next topic?
Right, so as a way of introduction, so in technology enabled care, my colleague Julie will be leading on this. Over to you, Julie.
Thanks, Matthew. I know I've been working with Tim and Lisa. We did some care planning reviews over the summer, looking at technology enabled care. So what do we mean by technology enabled care firstly? And I've got a couple of slides that I wanted to share with you. So just bear with me. I know Lisa has seen them before and Tim, but it kind of helps explain a little bit about what we're trying to do and where the journey's coming from. So I'm just trying to expand that screen. Can everybody see that slide? Can anybody, can you see that slide?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see
Yep,
that.
thank you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because I've gone to present mode. I can't see any hands up or anything like that. So what this is saying is that technology enabled care, we know through COVID that people are really getting more au fait with the digital world and what's going on. But the local authority, so Birmingham City Council, are really only providing the community loan equipment that a few people have mentioned around MediQuip. So that's your profile bed. So if you look in the left hand at the top quartile, that's the profile bed, chair, mobile hoist. Doesn't really do the stair lift, that's around the DFG, but does obviously adaptations around toilets and things like that. And then we do provide telecare through adult social care funding. That's through social work or OT assessment. And you can self-fund it as well. So I need to pick up some of Bridget's points that she was making there with her. Also within telecare, we can put sensors on doors and on beds and various other things just to see how people are moving around at the moment. We've also introduced 2 other new bits of technology. A mobile unit called an own phone. So when people are discharged from hospital, or if they haven't got a telephone landline in the house, it enables you to have contact with the emergency contact centre. We've now distributed over 700 of those devices around the city. And we also support social workers around care planning with a device called activity monitoring, so we can see how people are moving around their home and send alerts to the family, so we can build up a real personalised care plan, but those aren't being used as much as we hoped. But what we really have an aspiration to do is to move into the bottom 2 quartiles, so the sensory functional technology, cobotics, the robotics, single-handed care. So rather than 2 people being able to lift somebody out of a chair, it could take 1 person with the cobotics. If you're looking on the left-hand screen, right at the end, the gentleman that's been helped with that framework there. And then on the other side, the connected technology around. A lot of people through COVID have now got Alexa in the home. And Alexa is brilliant because, like with my dad, who's 78, is not into adult social care needs at the moment. He's getting there with the way he's walking, unfortunately. But my sister and I have set up Alexa, so it links into his telephone. So if he does fall, he can contact both Karen or I to say that he's fallen and he needs help. So it's kind of a precursor to telecare, which is really helpful. And there's now watches that Amazon do that you can talk through as well, that gives you that precursor to telecare as well. And then obviously you've got the Internet of Things and the robotics. I know Lisa and I and Tim were having a conversation with some of the robotics that are coming through, the concepts as well. And I think I did push back to some of the universities to say that it needs to be developed with people, and rather than thinking about concepts and then bringing people in at the last minute. But there's so many things exploding onto the market at the moment. Some can make a massive difference. So what I wanted to show you next was a slide that was presented at a recent digital network that I attended by a mum, Rachel. Her son has autism, and when he's not a Birmingham resident, when he had the social worker review, the social worker was advising Rachel that he needed to go into residential care, which she was adamant that she didn't want her son to go into. So she asked if she could have a direct payment and bring in technology that she believed would support him, because with his autism as well, he found some one-to-one support not as beneficial as if he could watch YouTube's clips or do different things on his own and with technology. So she brought in all this plethora of technology, even as simple as changing the shower. I don't know if you can see at the top, changing the shower so he could see when the shower was cold or hot. So he knew when to step into the shower, because she was having real problems getting him to clean himself and things like that. And it's made a fundamental difference to the way he's living. and has completely changed the care package that they need to support him at home. And obviously the whole focus of digital technology is to keep people at home independent for as long as they possibly can. So one of the things I do really want to do is when we start looking at really working with social workers about some of these things that we can deploy, is getting Rachel and to share these experiences, but also Lisa as well and Tim, so that people aren't given technology they don't need. It needs to link in what they've already got. So I just wanted to share those with you, so you just get an understanding of where I'm hoping to get to and the aspirations we're hoping to get to with technology enabled care and what it means at the moment for us. So one of the things that we do provide some limited information on Connect to Support because we've got a limited service at the moment. One of the things I'm working on is trying to get a much wider transformed technology enabled care service available. It's not something we have yet. I might be able to start looking at a pilot next year with a couple of our constituencies, social work constituencies, to see how we can deploy technology enabled care in a much better way. But it's how we can help you actually think about what you've got in your homes and to know what's available. Whenever I talk to people around technology enabled care, people don't know what's available to them at the moment. So what we could put on Connect to Support that would help you understand what's available to you, what's available through adult social care, and what it can do for you. There's a lot of work going on in this space, as you can imagine, and a lot of work with health colleagues as well. So if we deploy telecare, that actually should help people understand if, you know, needing emergency services and things like that. So it has an impact on health to understand who needs that kind of service and is there something else that we can put in place. So there's a lot of work going on around this at the moment. So just wanted to share that with you and see what we could put on Connect to Support that would really help. So over to you. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Julie. Gina and Mick, did you want to come in?
Yeah, I just wanted to know how you applied for one of these activity monitors, because I've got a friend whose mum's got dementia. Yeah. And I think that would be quite useful for her. Okay,
so we currently use activity monitoring through social workers. So if you get, have you got a nominated social worker, Gina?
It's not for me, it's for my friend's mum. So
do they have a if they have a social worker, we can deploy it that way. Or what I can do is there's a company called Canary Care that will provide that equipment. So we currently lease it. I think it's about £45 a month. I need to check how much it would be to buy it. But I know when people have seen it, they really like it. We've had about 15 families buy it directly. So you can buy it from the market or you can have it through adult social care. If you have it through adult social care, it's limited to 4 weeks to help with the care planning. It's not permanent. It's one of the things that I'd really like to bring in on a permanent basis.
But how's that going to help somebody with dementia then? Or are you trying to keep in their house?
So what you have to be careful with dementia is that there's levels of dementia. So if it's later stages of dementia, are they right to be at home?
No, she's on the early stages at the moment. Okay. But so, I can't see 4 weeks going to be much help.
So have you thought about Alexa? Have you thought about reminders on Alexa, or have they thought about Alexa?
I don't think she could cope with an Alexa. I mean, she started to put things in the microwave and set fire to the.
Okay. So what would help this person then is I'm more than happy to have a conversation with them around the use of Canary Care and buying Canary Care independently. But if it is through a care plan, we could talk to the social worker about how we could source that.
Okay, yeah. If you could leave some contact details, then I could pass it on to her, please.
Yeah, sure. More than happy to do that.
Lovely, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Gina. Sharda, did you want to come in? But just before you do, is it okay? Because Nina has put a question about the door sensors. She's asking who are they controlled by? Is it by
we don't do the door ring bells. Nina, do you mean the ones that you get independently? The ones that are got cameras in them? Is that the Ring doorbell that you're referring to?
I'm referring to two. One is, you know, the sensors that you have a little box outside. Now, some people put numbers in there to get inside. I've seen that one.
Oh, you're talking about the key safe?
Yeah. And now, is there another one where my uncle used to have, where you just say who you are on the outside and they would open the door for you? Do you deal with that?
So my understanding is that there is a key safe provision through occupational therapy. That I don't think they provide the voice activated, but I might be wrong. I can ask Shantina, who's one of our OTs, head of OTs, who the current provider is around key safes, because we don't provide the Ring doorbells. I know that they're private provision at the moment. I don't know if we would look at those, because there's issues around the CCTV and everything around those at the moment. But definitely we provide key safes through occupational therapy. So are you saying that you would rather go from putting a number into a voice activated?
Well, I've seen somebody across the road that they had, when you come in, that you had to put in a number, but sometimes people are not tall, so they can't reach there. That's my issue. So I'm not that tall, but I'm just saying that because my uncle used to have, where he lived in an establishment, but when I used to go and visit him, I just would knock his number, put his number in, and he would open the door. Now, is that kind of a thing available to residents in the local area or not? Or is that just for establishments?
So can I come back to you on that one, Nina? Because it would be through occupational therapy we would get that information.
Okay, I would like to know that, just in case there are people who might need it.
Okay, more than happy to find that information and provide it back if that's okay.
Lovely, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sharda, would you like to come in now?
Thank you, Amanda. My question is similar but slightly different, right? So, for example, if somebody falls down, will their equipment be connected that, oh, help me, I need a police or an ambulance? And my second question is that, you know, nowadays you get fake callers trying to get in your house. It's happening a lot. So same question like Nina said about the security camera to be fixed, and a person cannot go to the door. So if he or she can just, with some button, they can answer the door without opening the door.
Okay.
Is there anything like that in place?
So the security around the doors, we would need to talk to housing about, definitely. If it was a council property, if it's private property, you can have your own Ring doorbell there. So that would be paid for separately on your own. The help if you've fallen is around telecare. So if you are worried that the telecare is available, I have to say with telecare at the moment, because there's issues around manufacturers, there's a backlog on telecare. So that, I don't know if that was Bridget's issue, but I need to pick that one up. So if you need access to the emergency services, that is the best way to get access at the moment through telecare. Or if you're concerned about falls but wanted to do it through Alexa and let your family know that you'd fallen and get them to help you, that's another alternative way to go. So there's quite a few ways at the moment. It depends what level of support you need, Sharda. Does that help?
But you know, if you know, like you're saying, you want people to stay in their home, and for them to stay in a home, all this needs to be considered. So funding or a grant would be maybe could be made available to them, because a lot of fake calls are coming in through senior citizens' homes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So one of the things I was just thinking about was the home assistance, because that's being reviewed at the moment and that's going to go through. If we can put something in around fake calls around that, that might be really useful to do.
Hello, little lady.
So, sorry, there's a bit of feedback.
Okay, I think that might be Bridget. Yeah, we've gone back on. Bridget,
It might be me.
Yeah, we've got a bit of interference coming from your side, but do you want to ask a question? Bridget, you've gone back onto mute. Okay, while Bridget's taken herself off mute, there was a question by Karen in the chat.
Yeah.
Is there anything available for a person who has difficulty hearing people talking on a phone call?
Sorry, was somebody going to say something then?
It was me trying to get in touch. It's Bridget.
Yeah, okay, Bridget.
But I'm having a bit of a glitch in my communication because I was in a meeting just a little bit before this meeting, and it really does overlap. And it is to do with combining our mutual knowledge to see if we can help each other.
Yeah.
And it is to do with just helping each other. I know Shada from way back, citizen involvement team. And I'm just a little bit confused today, only with the technology, but there's so much going on that we need to do to unite our knowledge and our communications.
Yeah.
Within this little
Bridget,
network.
Good. Bridget, is there anything else you wanted to raise for Julie, or should we move on? Because I think other people have got their hands up. I think Karen's got her hand up. I don't know if she's still wanting to come in.
I'm not getting the right visual. I'll put my hand down.
Okay. Karen, did you want to come in? Karen's got a hand up.
Yeah.
So Shada.
Okay.
Karen, did you want to come in? Take yourself off mute, Karen.
Hello, yeah, can you hear me?
We can now, yeah. Did you want to come in, Karen?
Yeah, just following on from what I put in the chat. I mean, basically, it's to do with my mom. She's got Parkinson's. She can't use a mobile. She's got an ordinary landline.
Yeah.
She has no problem actually hearing the phone ring or actually physically answering the phone. But the problem is, I tried to get a phone where you could actually turn it up, but it appears all that does really is actually turn the ringtone up rather than. I was just wondering if there's anything available that could like enhance the speech.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of, Karen, but we can have a look into that. I know there are some devices where you can actually turn up I mean, like iPhones will allow you to turn up so you can hear much more clearly what's going on. It depends what they've got there. I know it might be just worth investing in a new phone. I don't know how old the phone is.
Julie, can I come in?
Yeah.
Sorry, not because I know more about tech than you do. It's just that I've got a father-in-law with hearing aids and hearing problems. So real life experience, do you know what I mean? Nothing like that.
Always helps.
Absolutely, Karen. I know you can get amplifiers for telephones.
Yeah.
So they can actually, you can attach the amplifier to the headset bit, if you like, that goes near your mum's ear. So there is an element of her being able to hear a little bit clearer. In addition, I know there's various different settings. So if she is on a hearing aids, you can actually change it.
She isn't. No, she doesn't use hearing aids because it's quite strange because face to face, all right, she's a little bit hard of hearing, but there's no issues there. It just seems to be when she answers a telephone call.
Yeah. You can get amplifiers. I know you can. It's worth having a look, to be honest. It's worth having a look around Amazon and places like that.
Yeah.
Because you might get some stuff off Amazon for to be able to amplify the phone. and you can get it. I mean, to be honest, the other thing is try and encourage to turn off all background noise when she answers the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, my father-in-law's up in Southport, to be honest, and when we ring him, the first thing he says is, "Hold on, I'm just turning the telly off."
Yeah.
So we're like, right, okay, that's fine. So yeah, you know, real life experience always helps, doesn't it, as well, when you're dealing with these. But I think you can get, it's like you can get bigger button telephones as well for those people who have visual impairments. So
Yeah.
you know, they are out there. It's just a case of having to dig around from. But Julie might come up with something in the meantime, which is much better.
Right. Okay.
But that's the thing, June. It's having those experiences and sharing them as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of passion when you're trying to sort out, like for Dad, worried about that he may fall, but he doesn't need telecare and things like that. Working with Alexa and an Amazon Watch, so he can just speak to Karen or I, so that we know we need to help him.
Yep. And the other thing, I mean, somebody mentioned earlier about the alarms. So my mum lives in a housing with care unit.
Yeah.
And those alarms are everywhere. And we've had to condition her, if you like, to actually wearing her alarm around her neck. Whereas my father-in-law, we've bought him it privately and he won't go near it. Even though he fell over at 2 o'clock in the morning taking the rubbish out. What he was taking the rubbish out for at 2 o'clock in the morning is no beyond me, but there you go. So yeah, so those alarms are really, really helpful, really, really useful. I would recommend them 100%. I know my mum's fallen over where she has before and she's had carers immediately with her within about 5 minutes. So, you know, I'm a right advocate for your emergency assistance alarms that are available. If nothing else, it gives us peace of mind that she can do something if you've conditioned her to put it around her neck. And the amount of times we set it off inaccurately is beyond me.
Yeah, but then the contact centre don't mind that either. They don't
absolutely
make sure that person's okay, and then that they know that somebody at the end of it. So which is really useful. And as I was saying about Canary Care, the activity monitoring, if you're worried about how somebody's moving around, if they're not getting out of bed or what time they get to bed and keeping the door open, those kind of systems are really, really useful to give you that assurance and to set off alerts if the front door's open at 1 o'clock in the morning. And we've had a couple of those instances. The family has popped round or asked a neighbour to pop round and close the front door and see what's going on. So it allows help to get there really quickly.
Absolutely. Can't agree more, to be honest. And honestly, I would recommend them 100%, because for us it's really good peace of mind for us as a family to know that, you know, mum's got some access to something. If she can't contend with Alexa, my mum would never contend with Alexa either. So but pressing a button's good. And just to make you smile, because I suspect you're looking to move on, in a previous life I used to work for Coventry City Council and work with the emergency assistance alarm team there, and it was a group of security guards that used to answer it there. And in Coventry they used to have a minor bird that quite liked the big red button. And they regularly used to have a conversation with a minor bird.
Okay, that's cool. All these experiences.
Absolutely.
We've got 2 more hands up. Susan, did you want to come in, and then Sharda?
Come in, Amanda.
Susan, did you want to come in, or should we go to Sharda? Okay, we can't hear Susan. Sharda, do you want to come in?
Hey, thank you, Amanda. I was just wondering, this technology enable. I think we need to do some kind of a small flyer so that we can dish out to the people we know and say that this is happening. Would you like to take part in it? And these are the people you can contact. And the list, make it very simple English and say these are available. Would you like to take part in all these things, Or if you need any other information, if you want to stay in your home, so you will start getting all the information sent to you. So you start doing this as well at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we wanted to do with Connect to Support, is to start being able to provide that information. But I think absolutely a flyer is really, really helpful if people are accessing it. And it'd be good to design it with you guys as well, so we could make sure it is that focused and that simple. So happy to do that.
Have we still got Susan? No, Susan's put her hand down. No more questions, guys. More comments? Did you want to move on?
Hi everyone, shall I just launch in? My name is Lise, I'm one of the commissioning officers and I'm the contract manager for our 3 commissioned information advice and guidance services. They were designed to support people adapt to a new diagnosis or other significant health change. As Matthew said at the start today, so it's relating to visual impairment and sight loss, hearing impairment and loss, physical disabilities and associated conditions. And our 3 providers are Focus, BID and Disability Resource Centre. They provide online information, telephone advice, specialist support and casework, so a range of different options to help people understand what their options are and what the support available to them is to stay independent or get the services and entitlement they need. So they'll do all sorts of things in terms of helping you claim benefits, obtain grants, apply for a disabled parking badge. They explain what support is available from adult social care and other services, and they'll help you make a referral. They'll give advice on aids and equipment. They'll help you obtain them and provide training where appropriate. One of the other key things that they do, because of the sort of organisations that they are, is they provide emotional and well-being support as well to help individuals and their families through this journey. So that's either as part of the IAG provision, or they'll make onward referrals, for example, to a counselling service or other specialised service.
Pardon me.
Yeah, am I going too fast?
I can see a little bit of a presentation, but I can hear you, but I can't see the complementary slides.
Okay, that's probably because I haven't got one, because initially we were going to do a breakout room, so I'm just talking. I can pop this on a slide afterwards and add it if that would be helpful. That might be, mightn't it?
Yes, it would help me, please.
Sure, I can do that. I've got some slides, so I can pop those in as well. So yeah, thank you for that pointer. So yeah, the other aspect of the contract and the service is, as I said, is they also help people access groups and activities. So the purpose of those is to enable people to do things, the sorts of things that is available in the community, or also specialist activities provided by our providers. Most of the activities are groups that our providers organise themselves, but if somebody's got a particular interest, I know that our IAG providers will do their best to find something that suits you out in the community. And the other...
You're talking too fast.
Sorry. I'll put it on the presentation. I'm sorry, everybody.
Bridget, if you want to come in, can we ask you to put your hands up, because you keep interrupting over everybody else? Thank you.
I don't wish to be rude.
No, it was a useful point. Yeah,
carry on, Lise.
I was just saying that one of the other aspects of this contract is that they help people access activities and groups. Is there anything, obviously I will add something to the presentation that's going out. Are there any questions that anybody wants to ask? Any more advice or information that I can give about these contracts right now?
Bridget, did you want to come back in? Bridget, can you take yourself off mute if you want to come back in?
Oh, Bridget, you're still on mute. Oh, now you're okay.
Yeah, I would like to, please.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Am I okay now?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
I just think, can you talk a wee bit slower?
Yeah, I think Lise picked that one up. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you for pointing that out.
It's brilliant. Just can we try and talk it through a wee bit slower so we get a chance to digest it, if you know what I mean.
Hear you loud and clear. Thank you. I'm just going to bring in, because I'm just aware of time, I'm just going to bring Lorna in, if that's okay.
Fine.
Thank you, Amanda. With regards to the Disability Resource Centre and the services that they offer, does a citizen have to be registered as disabled, or is it open to, say, citizens that have multiple health conditions?
It's up to the DRC. So it's in a sense, so when you telephone them, they will talk to you and they will understand what you're looking for and what you need, and they will decide whether they can support you through Birmingham City Council's IAG contract, or whether there is another service that you might be more appropriate to be referred to.
Thank you.
Can't see any more questions. Any more hands up? I'm assuming that's a historic hand for Bridget. Are there any more questions about Specialist IAG that anyone makes a comment, or any more questions?
Can I add that information about our services, these services, it's available on Connect to Support. We've got some headings which take you to information about these contracts and these services. They link back to our social care pages on birmingham.gov.uk, and there are links on these pages which explain what our IAG specialist providers do, and they will take you direct to the organisation's websites where you can see in more detail what they do, and there's all the contact information available on our web pages and obviously on the organisation sites as well, and they'll show you where you can get the online advice and information that you may be looking for. And any queries, I know that their advisors are very willing to help with one-off inquiries, or if you need access to longer term support, then they will make sure that's available to you.
Okay, I can see that Adib's posted the link to Connect to Support in the chat, and Matthew has posted as well. Any other questions? Somebody else put their hand up. Who's that? Sorry, Susan, did you want to come in?
Yes, thank you. Apologies for earlier. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I have a question to Julie Harrison, going back to the technology enhanced care and her welcoming real life experiences and feedback. I'm wondering if Julie might consider contacting Healthwatch Birmingham with a view to them showing her slides and introducing this equipment to the communities via the local libraries. Okay. And if so, not just Birmingham Library, but some of us live, you know, in that area where Sandwell Library, some of them are closer to us. But would that be helpful, do you think, to consider?
Yeah, more than happy to do that, Susan. Thank you for that suggestion. I mean, obviously, what I was trying to say earlier is that we're on the journey with technology enabled care. We only provide a really small service at the moment, but looking to really transform what we do. So when we have got that available, more than happy to share it and shout it from the rooftops. But keep you guys involved with this as well, because Lisa and Tim, when we were doing the care planning reviews, shared some really insightful information around, you know, don't just expect to give us technology and walk away. Just think about what we've already got in situ as well. So there's lots of learning, and absolutely that's a really helpful suggestion around Healthwatch.
Yes, if I might add, it was me picking up on everyone's shared life experiences, and I thought, oh yes, I hadn't thought of that. It's really just engaging a wider community with those shared experiences for how we progress, not necessarily immediately go out demanding buying into. Thank you.
No worries, thank you.
There's an offer in the chat from Louise, who is from the Pocklington Trust. She's had issues with her IT, but if there's anything she can do to help in terms of sight loss, she's happy to get involved and support. in terms of sight loss. Right. Any other questions from anyone or comments? No? Anything else you want to add on specialist IAG, Lise?
No, thank you, except just apologies. As I said, that I had prepared a presentation because I thought we were going to be in small breakout rooms, so my apologies. And I'll make sure that the presentation that goes out has got updated information about our providers and what they do and how to contact them.
Okay. Susan, did you want to come back in, or is that a historic hand?
No, just to add something else. Sound and noise. Many of us are not at the hearing aid stage yet, but we do have problems with hearing and noise. I myself have been talking with Apple to see if some improvement could be made, and you know, I hope other people will do the same, because you know there's still not good enough selection of headsets, and I am about to start changing earpods for my iPhone, so I hope to have, you know, some noise cut out but still remain safe. But I think that exploration would be helpful, and picking up on what other people earlier mentioned.
Thanks, Susan. Julie, did you want to come back, or anything on that sort of, not fully with a full hearing loss, but sort of in between stage where there might be some problems that Susan's?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's useful that Susan's actually being really proactive and speaking to Apple herself. I know Louise has offered to put, I mean, we are working with multiple different stakeholders to work through how to best support. I mean, the technology is just coming leaps and bounds, isn't it? And it's knowing what to use, when to use it, what's available, how to use it. So it is a mystery until you can actually see some real lived experiences that we've got on some of our current stuff. But we know through the slide that I showed you for Rachel, some of the tech that she deployed for her autistic son really made a fundamental difference. So I think we're all on the same journey together, and the more we can share, the more we can help people help themselves, the better it's going to be for everybody, isn't it?
Thanks, Julie. Gina and Mick, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to make a comment. Was it you, Bridget? You said you were speaking to Apple.
It was Susan speaking to Apple. Thank you.
Susan, perhaps you ought to make a comment if you're talking to people with people who have headphones, who are in wheelchairs with like head supports, maybe to think about some kind of design for them. Because not always them earbud things work. I find that some of them are a funny shape, but don't fit in your ear proper.
Thank you for that. Yes, I will. I will indeed. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Can I also just add here, thank you to the person who mentioned Alexa being used to link into the telephone. So if you have a fall, because that immediately just relieved me of some anxiety. I have not made that connection, which is why I think these conversations are so important. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Susan. That's really helpful. Any other questions? Lisa, you've got your hand up.
Only to back up about Alexa. Yeah. I've used Alexa to call for help by my watch.
This might answer your question.
Be quiet.
Using your voice. You can ask me to play any song or artist.
I was trying not to
set
use
timers
that
and
word.
reminders. Control smart home
Alexa,
devices.
shush. Sorry. Yes, I've used my watch via her to call for help.
We can see that it works. Yeah, we can see that it works. Thank you for that. Over to you, Adib.
I was just going to say, I mean, not everybody uses the same platform. I think it's Alexa's Apple, isn't it? Is that right?
Alexa is Apple, but then you've got Siri off the other one. So
Siri is Apple.
Alexa is
Amazon.
Apple, Amazon, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's different languages for different platforms and devices. So you've got Google, you've got Alexa, you've got Siri. So just in case people are not sure what Alexa is, okay, just thought I'd mention that.
I'd like to think. I would like to keep things simple.
Okay.
I like you guys.
Okay.
Thank you, Bridget. And that's the idea. Sorry, Amanda, to interrupt. And that's the idea, is to the advice and information and advice and guidance to keep things simple and easy for people to get what they need. Good point. Thank you.
Lisa, you've still got your hand in. Did you want to come back in without mentioning the A word?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Can't see any more questions or comments. No. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you, Amanda. And thank you, Matthew, and thank you all the speakers. I hope you found this information very informative and hope you will get involved. We will email all the attendants a copy of today's presentation, and we will send you a link to the video of today's forum. You can also email us, and if you like, and you can get involved with People for Public Engagement. The date for the next meeting is 19th of November 2021. The time is 2 to 3:30 p.m. We will email you an invite later today. Thank you, and stay safe and keep each other safe. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharda. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks all.
Thank you very much.
Bye.